I look at myself as drumming-wise, like an energy drummer. I don't know, I just want to focus on, especially live, but also studio, of course, that give people energy and like hit it like you mean it. I've seen so many incredible good drummers that are so good, both technically and musically and everything, and have that energy as well. That's so big difference from everyone having everything except that little extra energy. It's not very important for me to be looked at as a progressive drummer or whatever, but for me it's all about hitting it like you mean it. Like every stroke, every single thing you do on the drums should have a meaning. I wake up in a new city around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, get up, tired, and checking my drum tech who is setting up the drums and helping a little bit sometimes, and that's always a struggle. I never get happy. I never get like 100% happy with how I place everything, and you know, I really like having, especially for Leprous now, to have 5 toms, because I want to have the ability to play melodically. For me it's very important, especially on this tour, to have 2 snares, because having one very low pitched snare, that's a completely different sound than just a main snare that is more medium high pitched, that can kind of cut through more. So it's very important for me with the extra snares. And then we do sound check. Yeah, constantly working and discussing with my sound engineer how to solve it every night. And I have some different cymbals for different use, and also have to be aware of hitting the cymbals maybe softer than the drums sometimes. And so trying to not be too routine based and just do the same all over, because venues are different, set lists are different on these tours. So, but we're really spoiled because our sound engineer is ridiculously good. If you play in a very boomy hall, it's maybe not necessary to play a lot of details all the time because it won't cut through anyway. But it depends on the PA, depends on the room, depends on the mics, depends on the sound engineer, everything. But again, it's all about sound and energy, so you have to be aware of where you are and how it sounds.
Secure.
We of course live very closely upon each other in Leprous and in all bands, especially when we were touring like this, sharing backstages, sharing stages, sharing buses. The vibe is good. It's a healthy bunch of boys, and it's all over a very good vibe in the band, and we live very close on each other. You cannot expect a better vibe in such a long term, I guess.
So stupid.
So stupid.
That's so stupid.
That's the typical vocalist. You gotta give everything for the fans that comes. Someone travels from abroad, someone travels from another country or another continent, and you really need to give them what they deserve. Yeah, and on this tour we have been running the meet and greets for the first time, and that's pretty successful. You meet all kinds of people that are so into our music. Someone are really enthusiastic, someone are maybe a little bit more scared, but we speak with them all. They get to see the sound check, and then we take some pictures, and we sign some stuff and just hang out a little bit. Practicing today is not as structured as it was before, especially when I studied. It's more, my practice is more based on what I have to learn for the next gig or for the next studio session. But of course, as a full-time drummer, you don't have time to practice just for the sake of practicing anymore. I definitely need to warm up a little bit before I go on stage, but it's not like that I need to have a practice pad kit or anything. I just getting my hand wrists warm, trying to prepare myself mentally for going on stage and just relax. I normally sleep like 1 hour before the show. Technique for me is really important, and that has, to be honest, always been like what I've naturally felt very comfortable with, like how to hold a stick and all that kind of stuff. The last years I've been opening up my grip way more. Switch your main grip from your thumb and your main finger to the middle finger and use the middle finger instead, and open it up. You don't need all your fingers attached to the stick all the time. Like almost every drummer learned that today. I was holding it like that, you know, with all the fingers inside and just using the wrist, of course. I was told all the time that, oh, you have such an amazing technique and that's so good and everything, but then I just got that kind of spirit coming down to me. You get such better sound just in the stick. You can just test it hitting the floor or hitting the hi-hat, and you get way more motion and like open sound, and you can play harder than the strongest heavy metal drummer on earth. But of course there's no secret grip or secret technique that is the best or helps everybody for their needs, but just to be aware of the sound you produce, that also goes for technique. So everything is kind of linked together. You have to be aware of what kind of sounds you produce, and that goes for the grip and technique as well. Technique is not only technique, it's also music and groove and energy. Yeah, I had a goal as a 13 years old kid, or 12 or 13, I don't remember, only play drums for a living and have that as a dream. And then I of course understood that you had to be dedicated, and you had to practice, and you had to be strict with yourself and push your comfort zone, doing stuff you maybe don't like, whether it's musically or if it's scary because it's scary people and they are older than you and they are more experienced than you, and you don't feel comfortable. Yeah, I just always been pushing myself to the limits. In some way do it all the time. For me, every day without any music or drumming involved was a day without meaning when I was younger. So whether it's practicing alone, playing in a band, watching videos, or listening to music like in a very active way, you just have to do it all the time and always have that I want to be better, I want to be better. Of course you can have breaks. Of course I'm also been having, after very intense touring, I've had 1 week maybe where I didn't even touch some drumsticks, but when I was younger that never happened. Leprous is a band that it's not very much improvised actually, a little bit on the drums and on the bass maybe, and also the vocals, but it's pretty arranged and things are set. It's not very much left over to random or improvisation or stuff like that. It's more about when everything just works. The best being on tour is that kind of feel that all I've been working for and also with the band for the last year is like being set in a system, a very nice system where we present what we do and our art and our music in the best possible way, with incredible sound, gear, lights, visuals, everything. I'm just so proud of everything I present every day, and it's also an honor to see fans that are so dedicated to what we do, just doing what you have been working for your whole life, and being able to play a concert on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, for diehard fans that really are into what you're doing. That's a privilege. If you want to be a successful drummer, you have to at some point find out what do you want to be good at or best at. What's your strongest sides and what kind of drummer do you want to be? You really have to focus and focus and focus. And when you thought that you have tried as hard as you can, try harder. Also try to find out what to focus on. What kind of drummer and musician do you want to be? Do you want to be a dude that can just step in everywhere all the time and do a good or decent job or very good job in all kind of genres? Or do you want to be the world's fastest extreme metal drummer? Yeah, then you of course have to practice on that, but just focus on what, first and foremost, what do you want to, and find out what do you want to be best at.